Wednesday night, Ryan. Another night of youth group.
Yeah, dude, I think I'm ready, but I'm still kind of sore from last time.
Man, I'm sweaty from last time. Oh, man, I wish I would have gone to the gym, brought my towel here with me.
Dude, don't worry, I got you covered. Sweat towel, Catholic style.
Probably the most common question I get after Mass is, what's that thing on your arm? There are few priests nowadays who choose to use this particular vestment, and so it often catches people off guard because they may have never seen one before. This vestment is called a maniple. It was commonplace in the Old Mass, but after the Second Vatican Council, it all but disappeared. Whenever we see something being used or done at Mass, there's always a reason for it. Sometimes, like in the case of the maniple, it started as a particular need and took on a spiritual significance over time. Back when churches had no air conditioning, the priest would drape the cloth over his arm to be used to wipe away the sweat during Mass. This is the practical reason, but it has a much deeper spiritual significance. As a priest vests for Mass, there's a prayer associated with each vestment that he puts on. We'll cover this in detail in next week's video. The prayer for the maniple reads, "Grant, O Lord, that I may so bear the maniple of weeping and sorrow, that I may receive the reward of my labors with rejoicing." This short prayer explains the meaning and the purpose behind the maniple. It's a call to live out Psalm 126. Those who sow in tears will reap with cries of joy. The priest is one who's called to suffer and sacrifice on behalf of his people. We see this clearly in the confessional. When the priest enters into his role as the minister of God's mercy, he's not passively being God's instrument on earth, but rather actively assisting the penitent find their way back to God. He's called to do penance for those coming to confession. Often this allows him to give a seemingly small penance while taking on the rest himself. That, of course, is just one example. The priest's life is one of service for his people, and so suffering and sacrificing on their behalf should be a regular way of life. This is hard work, hence the connection with the sweat cloth on the arm. The priest becomes the example of how, whenever we have anything to sacrifice in this life, we should be bringing that and offering it up at the Mass, specifically at the collect, the opening prayer, and the preparation of the gifts. Christ has taken suffering and transformed it into something redemptive, so our suffering, united with Christ, takes on a whole new meaning. So why am I the only one who wears the maniple today? Well, in 1967, the Church put forth the document Tres Obhinc Annus, making the maniple option. Some would argue that after the Second Vatican Council, it's no longer to be used, but the Church has never formally abrogated or called for its removal. And to be honest, it kind of gets in the way. So most priests opt to not use it. I choose to use it because I love the symbolism it has. The other thing with the maniple you may have noticed is that I take it off during the homily. The reason for this is the whole Mass is one prayer from beginning to end, except for the homily. The homily, although part of Mass, takes on a whole different character, one of breaking open the Word and of teaching the faith. Removing the maniple indicates that we're changing directions in the liturgy. Feel free to share this with anyone you know because, as I've said, this is a common question I get, and I haven't had a chance to preach on it since I've been here. Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video. The more you do that, the more people get to see this, and the more we're able to spread God's gospel throughout the world. And as always, never hold back from asking the associate. God bless.